This is In the Loop. I'm Christian Bryant. If you're looking for something to be thankful for, I'll make it easy for you. This show, here's what we got cooking for y'all. What becomes of Black Friday during a pandemic? We'll unpack some big changes for holiday shopping plans this year. Also, the Salvation Army is deployed across America, raising money for charity and tackling some new challenges in the social distancing era. But first, we'll start with this. We all have bought a lot of things online this year, and with Black Friday, we're probably buying even more online. So much so that online shopping during the pandemic sent us into the future, accelerating the move from physical shopping by roughly 5 years. Basically, we have shopped ourselves into 2025. As I see it, I'd rather be there than in 2020. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, retail e-commerce rose nearly 45% year over year in this year's second quarter. For example, Walmart saw its e-commerce go up nearly 100% during that same time period. But as an analyst from Moody's tells us, it wasn't all profit right away for online retailers.
Nobody was ready for this. And, when you're trying to basically drink water out of a fire hose, it can get kind of complicated. The combination of the online costs, COVID costs, and then product mix, it kind of all melded together.
And while there is and has been a demonstrable shift away from physical shopping, brick and mortar stores have proven to be far from obsolete during the pandemic.
The stores are a critical component of an online strategy. We've seen during the pandemic that stores really, really matter. Not just a little, but they matter a lot. Because they've given the consumer, again, they've illuminated availability and speed.
We should note that consumer spending overall dropped pretty significantly earlier this year. And while the U.S. economy is gaining ground, many people are still struggling because of record unemployment due to the pandemic. According to our analyst friend over at Moody's, U.S. consumer trends are just kind of fickle. And going forward, it'll be interesting to see if any of the consumer behaviors attached to the pandemic will continue to stick once this is all over.
The most interesting part of this whole equation from where I sit is what's going to happen retention-wise. There is a stickiness involved. And I just think that there have been so many, relationships created during the pandemic with consumers and retailers that maybe they didn't experience in the past.
All right, let's do impressions. Who am I? Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. This time of year, those red buckets outside corner stores and grocery stores have a way of prompting you to donate some change, either the kind that jingles or the kind that folds. But with a national coin shortage and social distancing, those donations haven't been quite as easy to come by. National reporter Stephanie Stone explains how the Salvation Army is trying to make up for the shortfall.
Even the Salvation Army bell ringers will be different this year. They're a holiday staple outside grocery stores and shops, ringing their bell next to a red kettle for a greater good.
There are fewer retail locations. People aren't carrying as much cash as they have in the past. Many people are now unemployed.
Commissioner Kenneth Hodder is the national commander of the Salvation Army. The organization has been serving since 1865. Now grown to 131 countries and 7,600 centers, almost every zip code has a branch. And the need this year, the commissioner says, is like a tsunami.
In a typical year, the Salvation Army nationwide will serve about 52 million meals, for example. Well, so far, this year, we're well over 110 million meals. So the numbers have shot up astronomically.
1.5 million more nights of shelter, 900,000 instances of emotional and spiritual support.
As eviction moratoriums start to expire, as corporate capabilities to support people with furloughs or with reduced hours decline, we're anticipating at this point about a 155% increase in the number of people coming to the Salvation Army for Christmas assistance.
And with COVID-19, they've decided to get creative, launching Kettle Pay, which is what you'd think you can pay at the kettle without touching anything.
They'll be able to bump their phone on the sign and electronically, the opportunity to give will come up on their phone.
This year, the commissioner says they've further refined the technology so that your gift at a particular location will benefit people in that same area. Make-A-Wish America has also launched a digital campaign for the holidays.
We're really excited to introduce our new holiday fundraising campaign called Families for Wishes.
Christy Madsen, senior manager of the national fundraising campaign for Make-A-Wish America, says it's been an unpredictable year. Families for Wishes is simple to set up and simple to donate.
In its purest form, Families for Wishes is about families helping families. Any family helping to bring joy back into the lives of Wish families.
The funds raised will also benefit local families who are supporting a child with a critical illness.
We know holidays are going to look so different this year, and we know that people are looking for ways to stay connected, even if they can't be together this year, and are looking for new traditions. And we think Families for Wishes could be a part of that along the family's timeline and when it makes sense for them.
That new tradition, she says, is as easy as going to their website, creating a page, adding a family picture, and your campaign is launched.
I bet people will be surprised to find just how easy it is to collect donations this time of year. People are looking for new ways to replace traditional gifts. And this seems like it could be part of that solution.
And while it seems like a few clicks on a website or a few coins in a red kettle, wishes and hope are forever, and charities are hoping you'll help this holiday season. I'm Stephanie Stone, reporting.
This pandemic has affected pretty much every aspect of our lives this year, so it's not surprising that it has also impacted some of our gift choices this holiday season. I mean, it did give us some very 2020 options for tree ornaments. Christmas. National reporter Jessica Perez shows us some other stocking stuffers uniquely popular this year.
You guys are even seeing some COVID-related gifts for this year.
There is no question that 2020 has been sort of, built around this pandemic. In every way, our life has changed from how we work to how we live to, of course, how we shop. And this year, we have seen the rise in COVID-related gifts.
CouponFollow conducted a Black Friday shopping survey. Chief Strategy Officer Michael Parrish-Dudell says 39% of surveyed shoppers say they're going to gift some sort of face covering to their loved ones.
About 34% expect to be giving some type of hand sanitizer. So this year, the stockings might be full, not so much of candy, but of these more COVID-related products.
CouponFollow also looked at how much money people will be spending this holiday season and broke it down by generation. Millennials and Generation Z plan to spend more money, while baby boomers plan to spend less. The National Retail Federation found that overall, people plan to spend $1,000, which is $50 less than last year.
Most of that decrease, $45, is coming from people saying, I'm going to spend on gifts, I'm going to spend on holiday items, but I might hold off on those treat myself type of purchases.
Catherine Cullen, Senior Director for Industry and Consumer Insights at the National Retail Federation, also says slightly more people than last year, 60%, will be shopping online this holiday season, as well as using features like curbside pickup. But that still leaves a lot of people shopping in person.
What we found is that people were willing to take that risk. About 86 to 89% of folks say that they know it's a little bit risky to shop, but 36% overall, that's including all the generations, about 36% say that they in fact are going to show up. And a large portion of that is going to be the baby boomer generation.
The NRF survey also showed a shift in the types of gifts people will be purchasing this year.
Gifts of experience have been a real trend over the last few years, but with everyone at home, you can't do as many of those experiences. And so we're seeing a return to kind of buying physical things.
Regardless of what you buy or how you buy it, the NRF is encouraging people to shop early this year, as many mail services and the post office could be inundated with online shopping deliveries. I'm Jessica Parrish reporting.
Important question. What's the shelf life of Thanksgiving leftovers? With a new president getting ready to take over next year, we've been digging into President-elect Joe Biden's stance on a range of topics. So far on this show, we've covered the coronavirus and his task force. foreign policy, and immigration. Now let's take a look at the military and see what could change with Biden as the commander-in-chief. Newsy's Therese Garnier has more.
President-elect Joe Biden's defense policy is expected to be defined on these 4 key issues. 1, COVID, at least initially, and then China, Russia, and technology.
It's really going to be how do we maintain our ability to stay ahead of the adversaries or potential adversaries with respect to technology, innovation, fielding capability of the warfighters, and prevent strategic surprise from something that the adversaries or potential adversaries have developed.
The Department of Defense allocates money in 3 different buckets: manpower, readiness, and future modernization.
The costs of maintaining a very high-tech and excellent all-volunteer military continue to grow, usually faster than inflation. And of course, Russia and China have become much more challenging over the last half dozen years or so. And those threats haven't changed because of COVID or the election of Joe Biden or the riots of last spring and summer or anything else. Those threats are still there.
Biden has stated he does not see major reductions in the defense budget, especially as the military's focus turns to China and Russia. He also has said the Pentagon needs to prioritize investing in emerging technologies.
We're going to have to do that without pretending that the world has somehow gotten safe and that we can afford to lower our guard.
But some analysts believe defense spending may be under severe pressure for the next couple years, following 4 years of increased spending under Trump.
At best, they were looking at a flat top line, and at worst, because of the pandemic and the economic dislocation and the social unrest, there is talk about a large decrease, perhaps 10 or 15% from the defense budget.
The president-elect also backs a small footprint for U.S. troops in the Middle East, stating these, quote, forever wars have to end.
And in many ways, we resemble a yo-yo approach to the Middle East. We go in, we come out. We go in, we come out. The Middle East is a very difficult situation, and it can't boil down to are you in or are you out.
President Trump's recent decision to draw down the number of troops in Afghanistan and Iraq to 2,500 in each country could present a challenge for President-elect Biden.
Can we protect the bases where our people live well enough that the Taliban don't feel like they have an opportunity to try to overrun some of them? That would be a true tragedy if that were the case.
Biden will have the power to reverse the drawdown decision once in office.
He doesn't have to build them up a lot. I think the number we're at now of around 5,000 U.S. troops in Afghanistan is more or less the right number.
At the end of the day, it's the Department of Defense's mission to protect the U.S. from foreign threats, such as Iran or North Korea. But in the age of COVID, it may also entail responding to congressional challenges of defense spending. Therese Garnier, Newsy, The Pentagon.
If you haven't done so already, reach out to us on Twitter using the hashtag NewsyInTheLoop. Not many of you have reached out to us, so either you're slacking or I don't have as many viewers as I thought I had.
We take a step away from the noise and spin to really hear the stories that need to be told. Newsy cuts through.
We dig a little deeper on the stories of the day to help start making sense of it all.
There's been a lot of focus on healthcare workers and all they've done on the front lines of this pandemic, and rightfully so, especially considering that cases and hospitalizations are on the rise. But the virus has also meant more work and more risk for death care workers, people who provide services for funerals, cremations, and burials. This isn't the most uplifting story we could end on, but it is a powerful profile of the people who care for folks after they've died. This next Newsy documentary tells a powerful story inside one funeral home in Detroit, where COVID cases put death care workers in high demand and in a dangerous position.
My first thought when I read that tweet last night as we were all going to bed was, the virus is here. I know this. Hello?
Hi, Mr. Kemp. This is Melissa with the Answering Service. We had 2 ladies calling regarding their mothers who have passed.
Okay. Who are they? Then you can send it over. There's my day.
There you go.
Between the start of the COVID and now, we've had almost 100 cases. Every time you touch one of the bodies, you put your life on the line. We are on the front line, really, because like I said, we don't know what happened to it. And we have to preserve the bodies for the families. This is closure for the families. And it's not only for the dead, it's for the living.
I mean, this past month, it has been surreal. Where normally we would get 1 or 2 a day, is now 5 or 6 a day. There are times when it's just like now, when you're just trying to keep your head above the water. We bought these racks and put them together one entire night. My wife went and put everything in there. We put these industrial racks up so we can at least store the remains in a dignified manner. I'm willing to say this is about 1,200 square feet here in this area, and I've never had it this full. Usually this is where you see here is where my hearse is parked. This was full of gloves. My top shelf was full of gloves and shoe covers. The last box of shoe covers I have are right here. I had gowns everywhere. I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just got a shipment of nitrile gloves in. We were down to 2 pairs. We're running on E. If we don't get any more PPO run out, we're done. Can't take any more. Period. So what else can we do? Anybody got a suggestion? Who is today? So Jolly, I will do, I think.
And McDonald and Murphy.
Okay, let's go. We got it.
All right.
We got to get started.
Jesus.
My hand hurts. So you got to see some of the chaos of Tuesday morning, which is typically a quiet day. So now we got to figure out where to start. So we have a service starting 12 minutes ago. All right, Brother Jolly.
He went in on Friday with a fever, couple signs. He had shortness of breath, and the next time I seen him was laying in a casket. Everything about this situation is different. You know, you only have 10 people. My dad's immediate family is more than 10 people. How do you tell somebody, like, you can't come to the funeral? You can't have your opportunity to say your farewells and your goodbyes. And you've been with this person your whole life, you know. It's hard.
So at this point, we're going to have a 2-minute remark from anyone who would like to have something to say. Would you please line up over here?
You have a better place right now. You ain't got to deal with what we got to deal with. We got to walk around nowadays covered up. I don't remember nothing like this. You know, this is bad. This is real bad. But no matter what, they always say, some good got to come out of bad. Yeah. You know? So let's just stick together, keep the love, and keep the faith. Yeah. And I just want y'all to know I love
you. They say what you get in life, you're supposed to get back, but I feel like he didn't get that. Death has to come. We're aware of that. But when it happens like this, it's nothing you can do. It's like it's out your control.
You see it all over the place, but primarily it's my people, African Americans. I see it every day here. We die younger than the other populations do. We die disproportionately from violence and poverty and inability to get good access to health care. So I see that every day. It shows on the death certificate. We try to tell people about the social spacing, but it's very difficult to control family and their emotions.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow us to go in and actually, like, on any normal business time, then we would have been able to actually go in the mausoleum and see him go in. But under those circumstances, that's part of what we're dealing with in this society at this point in time. We got to make the best of it right now.
Yeah, sometimes I like coming here so I can visit him. This is my father here. They were the ones that inspired me to do this. So. You say you're a professional, so don't be emotionally involved. The person today was 20 feet away from my dad, and 15 feet from where his best friend and cousin was, and his wife died just a few days ago from COVID. What can you do? You don't know. It's an invisible killer. We're suffering from stress just like a healthcare worker. Almost 24/7 talking to families, trying to solve their issues. Lately, in the past couple weeks, they never left before 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. It's a thankless job. Imagine if we said we're not going to touch any COVIDs at all. Imagine what would happen here. Our job is to complete the chain of protecting the general public as last responders. And you never want to turn away anybody that you can help.
That's it for us, gang. As always, thanks for watching, especially if you made it through the itis. We'll be back next week for more In the Loop. Same time, same place. I'm going to hit a quick nap, but top stories from Newsy are headed your way right now.